So now we're going to talk about how to write an effective cover letter. Okay, so we're going to use the tip sheet that you can find on the portal or in the classroom, and we're going to go through it step by step, okay? So the most important thing I can tell you about a cover letter is that it is not a reiteration of your resume. And I think that's the biggest mistake that people make is they go on and they create this cover letter that just states everything that's already stated in your resume. And I think that's really, really important because you don't want to waste the reader's time. And if you're not telling them any new information, then what's the point of them reading that, right? Again, so we are not reiterating what is in our resume. It is completely different. It's a chance to showcase our personality and our skills as they relate to this position. Unfortunately, you really need to customize this to every job that you're applying to. It needs to be specific and customized. And if you don't, again, you're not going to yield as many results as you will if you customize this, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start off again. You're going to see it's a formal letter, okay? So it's written in such a formal letter. So you have your information you're at the header. I want you to think about this as your own personal brand, though. So whatever your header is like on your resume, you're essentially going to copy and paste it into a brand new plain Word document, okay? So it's the same as your resume. So we have your header that you've created for your resume, and then we go down here, and this is going to be left aligned, so you're going to see the current date. Now, this needs to be the date that you're sending the resume, not the date that you've created it. Because typically, it takes us a few days to write these things, and then we eventually send them off. So make sure it's the current date. Then you have the name of the person you're sending it to and the job title. Now, that's awesome if you can find it, and a lot of the postings on the portal, this information is there, and you can use that to your advantage for sure. And sometimes it's on the job posting. It'll tell you like the person you're going to be reporting to. And sometimes it's not. And if it's not, you can definitely do some research. You can look on the company website to see if sometimes they have a hierarchy or a chart that shows people's names, or you can, check out LinkedIn, stuff like that. So you can definitely do a little bit of searching. However, if you can't find it, you can't find it. It's not the end of the world. We would just delete those two things and then start off with the company name and the address of the company. For this, even if we have the person's name, we're going to avoid pronouns because we're going to be really respectful that we're not making assumptions on how people identify. So let's say the person's name is Pat Time. Okay, let's just say we would say Dear Pat Time. We're not going to say Dear Mr. or Dear Mrs. Again, because those are assumptions. We don't want to do that. So essentially, if you have the name, that's what you're going to do. If you don't have the name, we're going to use the term Dear Recruitment Team or Dear Hiring Manager. Okay, to whom it may concern is a little outdated, so we're not going to go with that. Then we typically have 4 paragraphs. Okay, so in your first paragraph or your opening paragraph, you're essentially just going to let the employer know why you're writing this position, how you heard of it, and why you're suitable. This is also the paragraph where we'll name drop, only if you have permission to do so. So let's say, you have, somebody that attends church with you has agreed to allow you to use their name, and perhaps they're, a manager at, let's say, Honda in Alliston. And, you really want to work at the Honda plant. So you're going to put there, Tim, whomever, referred me to this position as he felt that I was a great or suitable for this position. So you can definitely name drop in that first position, okay, or paragraph. So then we have our second paragraph. Now, this is where we're really going to talk about our technical skills, okay? So this is our hard skills. This isn't any random technical or hard skills. We're really going to look at that job description, and we're going to go through the qualifications that they're looking for. We're also going to look at the paragraph where it talks about what you would be doing if you were hired for the job, or, where it tells you about the job. And you're going to kind of look at it, and you're going to pick only 1 to 2 things from there, okay? So 1 to 2 things that they specifically mention in that job description, and you're going to highlight how you have expertise in that. Okay, so you're really going to tell me about that in details, not like in your resume, differently. You're going to explain it to me, and you're going to really demonstrate passion here for what they're doing. Okay, so 1 or 2 technical skills that are mentioned in the job description. Okay, then we're going to go on to our third paragraph, which I would argue is probably one of the most important paragraphs in the cover letter. Okay, so you can definitely use, a transition sentence where you talk about your soft skills. You don't necessarily even have to have that in there. The most important part is this part. So this is where you're going to build a connection to that company. So again, the people that work there and that are reading this, typically most people love their job, they love what they do, and they feel connected to what they're doing. And you're essentially trying to showcase that you have a connection too, that you would fit with that team. And you do this by research, okay? It's really important that you research. You want to, look at their webpage, their mission, their vision, their values, their about us. You want to look at if they're talking about new projects they're doing or past projects they've done. Or maybe, you just Google them and see what news articles are about them, and maybe they're on the cutting edge of new technology. Or perhaps, you read a lot of books about leadership, and their, CEO is this inspirational person that you really want to work under. So you're going to find something. It doesn't matter what it is. Each person is different. You're going to find something that connects you to that you think, wow, that's really amazing. And you're going to write about that, and you're going to showcase that connection. So for example, let's say you're in computer science and you really want to be a back-end programmer at Bank of Montreal. And if you've been to one of my workshops, you've heard this, but I love this example, okay? So again, you're in computer science, you want to be a back-end programmer, you've done a lot of research, the banks are a great place to work because they're huge, and there's so much opportunity to move around and to move with different teams and room for growth within and promotion within the organization, and they pay very well, and it's all amazing reasons why you would want to work, for Bank of Montreal. But then you dig a little bit deeper, and you look into some of the things they're doing within the community, and you find out that they have this huge philanthropic spirit. But specifically, with local Toronto nonprofits and community agencies that are working with marginalized community members, and this really speaks to you on a deeper level. So in your paragraph, you might write, not only do I want to work at Bank of Montreal because of the opportunities that would be afforded to me as a back-end programmer, but upon further research, I really felt a connection with Bank of Montreal's philanthropic spirit and how you donate millions of dollars to local Toronto community agencies that specifically work with marginalized community members. And I myself, being a member of a marginalized community group, know what it feels like to be discriminated against. So to work with an organization that provides a voice to those who need it most would be an honor to work for. And that's why I want to work at Bank of Montreal. And that's essentially what you're writing in that paragraph. And it's really speaking to the reader and saying, I know about you. I don't just desperately want a job anywhere, but I really want to work at Bank of Montreal for these specific reasons. And it really does build that connection. And so I promise you, if you do these things, it's going to take you a little bit of work. It may take you, a half an hour of researching, but it's going to pay off in results, and those results being requests for interviews. And that's what you want, right? So then we would go into our last paragraph where we essentially thank the employer. We want to thank them for their time to, going over your resume and cover letter. And we want to essentially ask them for an interview in a very polite way. I look forward to meeting with you, discuss this possible career opportunity in further detail, essentially. Okay, so that's sort of that last paragraph there. And then down here at the bottom, you're going to write sincerely. If you know how to embed your signature, awesome. If you don't, you can use different fonts, like a handwriting font, and then your full name. And then it's up to you. You don't have to, but you can put the word enclosure, and that just means your resume is attached. Okay, so definitely that's that for the cover letter. And don't hesitate to book an appointment with any of us at the Career Center to help you make sure that you customize that perfectly. Okay, and have a wonderful day. Take care.